Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficial. All praise be to Allah, the cherisher, the nourisher, and the sustainer of the whole universe. The prayers, blessings, and peace be upon His Prophet and Messenger, after whom there will be no Prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Continuing to what we have left off last time concerning the explanation of the book which is written by Imam Ibn Baz. May Allah shower His blessings and mercy on him. The book which is under the title The Correct Belief and What Opposes It. We stopped at Imam Ibn Baz saying that faith in Allah also entails believing in Allah's perfect names and attributes, which have been mentioned in his mighty book and authentically reported in his trustworthy messenger, without distorting the remaining. Firstly, before starting to explain this, I would like to say that to precisely understand Allah's monotheism or oneness, Tawheed, you have to consider what is mentioned by the all Islamic scholars such as Imam Abu Hanifa, Ibn Battah, and so on, among others of Islamic scholars, considering Allah's monotheism. They said that the science of oneness or monotheism is divided into three sections. First one concerning Allah's lordship, and the other concerning the belief in Allah's worship, and the third one concerning the belief in Allah's perfect names or beautiful names and attributes or qualities. I think we have just started talking about the first two sections, Allah's lordship and Allah's worship, and we've said that Allah's lordship concerning the belief in the fact that Allah is the only creator of the whole universe, who looks after His creations, sustains them, takes care of all of their needs and so on. We have talked a lot about this in the previous lectures that we have done, but also the second one, which is concerning the Allah's worship. We have explained that Allah's worship means that we have to single Allah out with any type of worship, prayer, supplication, hope, fear, whatever it is. All the kinds of worship should be for Allah alone, should be specified for Allah. These are the two sections that we have already talked about. But today we want to talk about Allah's perfect names or beautiful names and attributes. Here Imam Ibn Baz said that believing in Allah's perfect names and attributes, which have been mentioned in his mighty book and authentically reported in his trustworthy messenger, on his trustworthy messenger. Good. Firstly, Muslims believe that Allah has names and qualities or attributes, descriptions. The sources for this belief are two and only. The first one is the noble book, the Holy Quran, and number two, the authentic Sunnah. This means that Muslims do not affirm any name to Allah or a quality without referring to the Holy Quran and Sunnah. So, number two, we have to bear in mind that all the names and the attributes has their own meaning. Every name of Allah and every attribute has its own meaning. For example, if we look at the verse in chapter 7, Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 180, the most beautiful names belongs to Allah, so call on Him by them. The most beautiful names belongs to Allah, so call on Him by them. These beautiful names include, for example, Allah Himself describes Himself as hears, the one who hears, all hear, the one who sees, all seer, and also all knowing, Al-Alim, and all wise, Al-Hakim, the full of strength, Al-Qawi, the exalted, Al-Aziz, all comprehension, Al-Latif, and so on. These are names, and if you remember, it says that every one of these names, or each one of these names, has its own meaning. This means that Al-Alim, all-knowing, is not like As-Sami', all-hearing. Each one of them has its own meaning. All-hearing As-Sami' means that Allah hears everything. All-knowing Al-Alim means that Allah knows everything happens in the whole world. Okay. And also, we should consider that Allah has subjective and actual qualities, including His coming and His going out, His bringing, and so on. Allah has risen over His throne. These are called subjective or actual qualities. To understand these qualities or attributes or beautiful names, we have to bear in mind that all the names and the attributes of Allah should be mentioned and should be reported in the Holy Quran and in Sunnah. Because we don't know how is Allah. So actually, absolutely, we don't know how can we describe or how the attributes and names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that to avoid falling into what Allah has forbidden in Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 33, He says that, and saying things about Allah of which you have no knowledge. In order to avoid this, we have to avoid describing Allah by anything that Allah hasn't mentioned in the Holy Quran or in the Sunnah of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.